KGUN 9 on your side, live at 5, starts right now.
An active shooter in Chicago opens fire inside of a hospital. At least 2 are dead as police are securing the scene right now. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Pat Paris.
And I'm Stella Inger. More on that violence in Chicago. But first, the driver of this truck is still in the hospital today after rolling over on the east side. This was a scene earlier near 22nd and Harrison. Tucson police closed down eastbound lanes for hours. They were cleaning up that mess. No word on the cause.
Also new today, the man accused in the murder of 2 Tucson girls appeared in court. The trial of 36-year-old Christopher Clements is still in its preliminary stages. Today, prosecutors were asking the judge for more time preparing the case. They say the man brutally killed Isabel Celis and Maribel Gonzalez. His next court date is not until February. Also today, the shutdown of Bravo Base is almost complete. The camp on the edge of Tucson Santa Rita Park began 3 years ago as a place to house homeless veterans. It began to house non-veterans too. As 9 on Your Side's Craig Smith reports, code violations and neighborhood complaints shut the camp down.
Bravo Base began about 3 years ago as a place for homeless veterans. Organizers said the vets felt togetherness as if they were back in the military. The camp would take in other homeless and feed homeless people in the neighborhood around Santa Rita Park. But the city of Tucson says the camp's a health and safety hazard that violates the city's building code, so it is under orders to fold its tents and move out. Addie Mendoza says she went from 2 years of volunteering at Bravo Base to managing it.
And it's definitely better than sleeping under the bridge, under the tunnels, and not knowing who's coming at you or who's going to hurt you, who's going to steal your things. This was a safe place for them.
Organizers say at the peak they had maybe 72 people here. That would have been at the coldest part of the winter. At the time of the eviction notice, they had 42, 22 of whom were veterans. The camp was just south of neighborhoods in Councilmember Steve Kozachek's Ward 6. He says the city worked with the property owner for quite a while to clear the camp. And now there's a plea agreement that drops fines against the property owner in return for closing and cleaning the site.
Understand, though, that we are offering all the people in the camp services that they need. So this is not an inhumane or heartless move by the city. It's something that's been a long time coming, and we are doing everything that we can to make sure that the people in the camp have the services, access to the services they need.
But camp organizers worry shelters won't let homeless people stay with spouses or pets or have the spirit they felt at the camp. Craig Smith, KGUN 9 on your side.
Meantime, thousands lined up today for the 4th annual Armory Park Feast.
This is a free event held by volunteers at the Promotoras and Pep Tech High School, the students there. The group has been doing community outreach like this for 20 years now and has in the last 4 years partnered with the charter school. The CEO of the school was there to talk about their efforts.
It's all volunteer, everything is donated. Once again, the Promotoras with Maru, they are doing the cooking. They've been, Saturday they were cooking 80 to 100 turkeys, and they do a fantastic job in the community. Project PEP being a service organization, we started 51 years ago in an old bus called La Tortuga.
Some 80% of those served are without homes. Last year, about 3,500 people lined up. Thanksgiving is a busy time for the Southern Arizona Food Bank, and staff there are preparing to see more than 1,000 people line up for a box or bag of food this week. If you'd like to give a helping hand, the food bank is always taking non-perishable food items. They can give out to those in need, and of course, volunteers are always needed. We have information on our website. Head to kgun9.com.
It's hard to believe Thanksgiving is almost here, but everybody's going to want to know what's it going to be like for Thanksgiving Day.
It's been so nice so far, right? No complaints at all, but we do have a little bit of a different weather in store for us. Excuse me, and we'll get into that in just a second, but I want to take us through a couple fly-through shots here of Tucson. We see here the shot of downtown Tucson. Pretty cloudy out there, but nothing too crazy. Mount Bigelow, it's a little bit more clouds. Still a beautiful sight from up there on top of the mountain. And finally get that sunset here in Midtown Tucson. A beautiful shot finally ending in Northwest Tucson. Really, we saw a great weekend and we're having a great start to our week so far. 69 degrees is our temperature right now. And coming up, along with your 7-day forecast, we'll tell you more about that change in temperature.
Ivan, thank you. And we are learning more about a shooting that happened at a Chicago hospital.
Yeah, just hours ago, officers securing that Southside Medical Center right now. Police say the gunman is dead and 4 people are in critical condition right now, including 1 officer responding to the scene. Witnesses there saw the shooter begin the attack.
And he came into the hospital and just started shooting people randomly. A gentleman and a lady looked like they were walking towards the parking area, and the gentleman turned around and shot 3 times in her chest. Then when she fell to the ground, he stood over and shot her 3 more times.
At a news conference just moments ago, a Chicago police spokesman said it's unclear if the gunman was killed or shot himself.
To the U.S.-Mexico border now, where more Central American migrants are gathering in Tijuana.
Thousands more are expected to follow suit, but President Donald Trump vows to prevent them from crossing over. John Lawrence reports.
President Trump makes it clear he wants Congress to fund his long-promised border wall.
When you look at the caravans, when you look at the mess, when you look at the people coming in, this would be a very good time to do a shutdown.
Mr. Trump referring to the groups of migrants who made it across Mexico hoping to seek asylum in the United States. The president also taking to Twitter over the weekend, saying illegal immigrants trying to come into the USA will be detained or turned away. In another tweet, Mr. Trump saying, "The U.S. is ill-prepared for this invasion and will not stand for it. Go home."
We have large numbers of people trying to get into our country. I must say the reason it's increased so much is because we're doing so well as opposed to the rest of the world.
In Tijuana Sunday, protesters upset with the influx of several hundred migrants, also calling for them to retreat. But more are coming. A group of about 200 migrants left El Salvador this weekend.
This migrant mom says she is happy because she has more hope because we are getting closer to the United States.
And additional caravans are expected to leave their native countries in the coming weeks. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Aggravating and annoying unsolicited calls from recorded voices, they're really getting out of control.
Yeah, some lawmakers are doing something about this, and this includes maybe hefty fines. Stick around. You're watching KGUN 9 on your side. It's not just you. Robocallers are inundating everyone, and it seems like there's no way to stop them.
Jace Larson explains the bill in Congress that would crack down finally on these calls.
I need to discuss your repayment options.
If your house is still available.
Details, press 1 now.
They just sort of tick you off, don't they?
There is a legal enforcement action.
Over and over again.
The qualification process can be completed in a few minutes.
Well, we have some new numbers that show that each of us will receive, get this, 150 calls a year. If you take out weekends, that means you're going to get one about every other day.
And that's an enormous number.
Alex Quilici is the CEO of UMail. He says that robocalls keep increasing for 2 reasons.
One is there are more and more scam calls. And the second thing that's driving the increase is people aren't answering the phone anymore.
It's an annoyance that both Democrats and Republicans agree on. Senators John Thune and Ed Markey have proposed legislation to up the penalties for robocalls to $10,000 and extend the time that people can be prosecuted for making them from 1 to 3 years. Commercial robocalls are illegal, but the Federal Trade Commission just has a hard time prosecuting anyone within the required 1-year time frame.
It'll help. But if you look at the current enforcement efforts, there's been in the news a $100 million fine, a $90 million fine. That's covered people who've made 100 million robocalls, a couple hundred million robocalls. That's a drop in the bucket of the nearly 50 billion we're going to have this year. So it's going to take a lot more than just enforcement and some better regulation to solve the problem.
Until legislation passes, Quilici has a few suggestions to help. Don't answer calls from numbers you don't recognize. And you can also get a call blocking app like UMail. They block those robocalls. And then finally,
a lot of us are in the habit of pressing a button to call people back without even thinking about it. That's got to stop. You've got to look up the number.
I'm Jace Larson reporting.
All right, coming up, Ivan's going to have that full forecast. And I know you're working hard on telling us just how warm it'll be for Thanksgiving Day.
That's exactly right. Right now, we saw high temperatures in Tucson around 74, Nogales 74 as well. Over in Sierra Vista, it's around 69 degrees as well as Douglas. And coming up, we're going to talk about those low temperatures.
Ivan, thank you. Then later, the alarming rise of alcohol-related deaths. News out today, the numbers are worse than opioids. You're watching KGUN 9 on your side.
Now, KGUN 9 on your side. First warning weather brought to you by Casino del Sol, the soul of Tucson.
Ivan is in for Kyler Diggs. We have a big holiday coming up.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to know what our forecast is going to be like.
Exactly. Maybe they're going to be waiting in line for Black Friday. They want to know our low.
Oh, that's good too.
Right? I guess maybe
wear a jacket in the morning.
Thanksgiving.
Wear a jacket in the morning on Friday.
Yes, definitely wear a jacket. But we had really a great weekend and a great way to start our week. Right now, this is a shot of Skycam right there looking at the Catalinas. Last little bit of sunshine left. Here we're going to see current conditions, 69 degrees we're seeing right now. There's a sunset going off of Midtown Tucson. Some winds out there coming out of the north-northwest at 6 miles an hour, humidity at 17%. When we take a look at overnight in Tucson, we're going to see around 5 a.m. our low is going to come in. The winds are going to pick up just a little bit coming out of the southeast there at 11 miles an hour. Our low of 5 a.m. around 45 degrees. Tomorrow in Tucson is still going to be a little chilly to start off with in the morning. We'll see around 51 degrees at 6 a.m. That wind still around there, but as we go into the afternoon, wind sort of tapers off a bit until we get to our high temperature there in the afternoon of 77 degrees. So quickly look around the country. We're seeing LA at 66. San Francisco 60, 69 for here in Tucson, 61 El Paso. Closer look now into our region. We see Phoenix up there at 73, Safford 63, Havasu 68. Down on the border, we're seeing 68 degrees, 57 in Wilcox, 71 in Naco. When it comes to winds, they're pretty calm right now. We're expecting them to obviously pick up a little bit as we go into the overnight hours. 5 miles per hour winds right now in Nogales, 6 mile per hour winds for us right now. Those dry conditions are going to stick around with us for quite some time. We see some clouds over southern Arizona in the overnight early morning hours, but other than that, we're not going to be seeing much rain here in Tucson, but there is a chance of rain later on in the week north of us and also around the White Mountains. A slight chance I might be seeing some snow over there. Taking a look at your school forecast, we're going to see going to school around 53 degrees. Like I said, some winds out there. Going home should be nice, sunny, comfortable. Maybe some clouds in the sky, but mostly sunny out there, 74 degrees. Your low temperatures for tonight, we're going to see around mid-30s. As we move in a little bit closer to Morena, 44 for their lows tonight, 45 Picacho. Our low tonight going to be hitting 45 degrees. Taking a look at your highs for tomorrow, we're going to see 70s pop in there, 77 for Morena. It'll be one of the warmer days tomorrow as well. Our high temperature tomorrow of 77, Sahuarita 76. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, we're going to see how we start off a little bit warmer to start the week, and then we're going to, as the week goes on to Thanksgiving, cool off a little bit, 71 degrees by Thanksgiving. You can see those 70s are going to stick around with us for quite some time. As we get into our weekend, we're going to see 71 by Saturday and Sunday. To start off that week, though, we're going to see 60s around there come into play again. So we have those warm to start off the week, and then we cool off a little bit for Thanksgiving. It's going to be a little cloudy out there, but it should be a perfect day to be with the family, eat that beautiful turkey right there that looks happy now, but I'm sure he won't be too happy later on.
Oh, thank you, Ivan. Yes. Alcohol-related deaths are on the rise. In fact, we're more likely to die because of alcohol than opioids.
Today, one family is opening up about their daughter's death, hoping it can save the lives of others. Here's Corey Rangel.
She was just a servant to this disease.
Ron and June Bird know the pain of watching a loved one struggle with alcohol. They helplessly watched their daughter Erica fight it for years.
It would have to be in all caps, helpless. You know, as a father, I'm supposed to be able to fix things. I couldn't fix it.
After becoming partner at her law firm, doctors diagnosed Erica with breast cancer. Her parents say Erica then became depressed, which made her drinking worse. Nothing worked, not rehab, not even the family's many attempts to force her into treatment.
Despite our best efforts, her friends' best efforts, her best efforts, it was to no avail. And it killed her.
Erica died in 2011 at the age of 42. Her death is part of a disturbing growing trend. In the past 10 years, the number of deaths attributed to alcohol has gone up 35%. Among women, it has soared 85%.
I just know it is a terrible epidemic. Alcohol kills you in many ways. You know, suicides, accidents, organ failures, disease.
A new study by the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation found this spike started during the recession and that growing pressure on working mothers might also play a role.
They are, I think, by and large, ashamed of it. Our daughter was. They do their best to hide it. until they can't.
Erica's parents hope the report helps break the stigma associated with alcoholism and leads to more resources devoted to fighting the problem. I'm Corey Rangel reporting.
With more than 100 child deaths from the flu reported last year, news tonight, a third of parents have no plans to get their kids vaccinated.
A new report finds nearly half of parents usually follow the doctor's advice, but 21% say they either forget or just brush it off, but also because the rules were different before 2000.
Before that time period, we were asking only high-risk adults, elderly, pregnant women, at-risk children to get vaccinated. They can be hospitalized and can die from it, as we saw last year. And we assume that this year will be just as bad as last year.
Even more, some think the flu shot doesn't work, or a healthy child just doesn't need it. Flu activity typically peaks in December and January. It takes a week or two for a flu shot to fully develop its defense. YouTube is offering free movie night options. That's coming up next.
Yeah, but first, on sale today with the free shipping if you have Prime accounts. The online behemoth is getting into the Christmas spirit. We'll explain. You're watching KGUN 9 on your side.
Hook, line, and sinker, the horrific hoax the Tucson woman fell for, and the claims an aggressive scammer made so that she'd fall for it. Tonight at 6, what you need to know so it doesn't happen to you. That's coming up.
You're watching KGUN 9 on your side.
YouTube wants to make your movie night free.
The company just launched more than 100 free movies in a partnership with MGM. You can watch movies like Legally Blonde, Pink Panther, Rocky, and The Terminator. The movie itself is free, but you'll have to watch the ads. The Verge reports they come at, quote, regular intervals.
Oh, that's how they do it. Okay. Meantime, Amazon's shipping out Christmas trees starting today. The trees come in a box. You have to sign for them. All sizes and prices from $20 to $110. The spokesman says they ship within 10 days of cutting.
Can you buy a car on Amazon yet?
I don't think so.
Not yet.
But don't give them any ideas.
You know they're already thinking about it. More on this week's Absolutely Arizona coming up.
Yeah, but first, a moment in nature of a gray fox on 4th Avenue. This was captured by Jason Olegi from the backyard porch in downtown.
Wow.
You're watching KGUN 9 on your side. No fear.
Having a favorite flavor of the month or a craving for those ranch fries, it's a distinct Tucson thing.
Yeah, E.G.